Welcome, everyone. This is the 7 Ways to Increase Your Balance and Happiness webinar. I'm your host, Alyson, founder of Wellness by Alyson, and I'm so happy that you're here with us. We are going to spend the next 45 minutes or so really talking about ways to make your life more balanced, increase the joy that you have in your life, and to do quite a bit of reflection and see what ways we can kind of improve upon, maybe make some alterations with, so you can really be more balanced, more grounded, have more energy, more happiness, and you know what to do with. So if you are ready to get started, let us go ahead, and I have a quick welcome screen here for you. A couple of quick reminders. You're going to want to go ahead and grab a pen and paper or your wellness journal. We're going to have a little bit of journaling tonight and some things to jot down. And I'd also like for you, in that pen and paper in your wellness journal, I'd like for you to write down an intention that you have for tonight's training. Okay, what was it about this webinar or this recording that you thought to yourself, I really want to check that out, right? Maybe I'm not experiencing balance in my life and I'd like to have more. So go ahead and write down your intention for this training. Okay, what you want to get out of this time right now, and how about over the next month or so? You can push it out another 30 days or so, and consider what you might want to do in terms of helping restore balance. Maybe these are things that need to happen over the next couple of weeks. Okay? And truly, this is your key to your success in experiencing the most that you can from your time here with us on the webinar. I also encourage you to really be present for our time together. It's very tricky to say no to all of the Instagram and Facebook things and the tweets and the texts and the phone ringing and the dog barking and everything else. But I do encourage you to take this time for yourself. We're not here together for a long period of time. So just take this period of time, and we will go ahead and get started. All right, so quick little intro from me. My name is Alyson. I'm a certified holistic health coach and the founder of my health coaching practice, Wellness by Alyson. My life's passion is helping women transform their relationship with food by getting nourished in mind, body, and soul. And that is what this webinar really is today about. We really cannot have one without the other. I talk a lot about nutrition, I talk a lot about our physical health, but we also must focus on the soul side and, of course, on the mind and the mental health, and that's what a lot of today is going to be about. I offer group coaching for seasonal detoxes, which actually I will be talking to you about at the end of our webinar if you're interested in hearing about them, and also private VIP virtual coaching. Okay, so I want to do a quick a quick metaphor for you as we dive into getting balance. And I actually wrote about this earlier today in my newsletter that I send out. And it occurred to me that standing on one leg and being balanced in our physical form is actually a really good metaphor for being balanced in life. So if you've ever tried to stand on one of your legs for just a few seconds, and I'm thinking kind of a yoga move, or maybe you're stretching out. You know, it isn't easy. It is a little challenging to be kind of standing. You feel a little bit wobbly, right? And you think about yourself, and when you've done it successfully, you've been able to keep your leg up and be able to really be rooted in the ground. You think about what you needed to do that, to bring yourself back into balance. And what I want you to observe here is if you were having an off day, or maybe if you were tired, trying to balance was probably much harder. Okay, you're feeling like, why can't I just balance? Why can't I just stand here? You know, it's really tricky because you don't have enough energy. You don't have everything in you to be able to do that. And on the opposite, hopefully this is all the time, you know, if you're well rested and you're feeling really good, it's much easier to be able to balance, to be able to stand there on one foot. And really, this is true for any area of our life, right? And so that's what I'm saying. It is a perfect metaphor for keeping our day-to-day activities, right? And that's work, play, family, social life, health, me time, spirituality. There's really so much more. And that's just kind of to name a few big, broad areas. But keeping all of that in balance, it really is the perfect metaphor. And when we tax our bodies, we're not nice to our bodies, we've got too much on our plate, and we're trying to juggle everything, and this means trying to keep you happy, you healthy, and everything else. It really can be challenging. It can be, actually impossible to be able to do that, right? And so that is what tonight is all about. So I want to start off with a quote I saw a couple of days ago, and I thought that this was kind of a really insightful, neat quote by Betsy Johnson Jacobson. And she says, balance is not better time management, but better boundary management. Balance means making choices and enjoying those choices. I thought that was kind of a cool way to think about it. It's not better time management. I mean, people will tell you, oh, balance. When they get balance, get a really great planner. Get a really great schedule. Put everything in your iPhone. Schedule everything out. And while actually I think that is a really good idea, kind of in theory, it is hard to do that in real life. But when you think about it being a boundary management, and we're going to spend some time about saying no. It's going to be a whole little segment on saying no. I think you'll see that you're going to have so much more balance when we learn to say no and set boundaries. All right, but before we do any of that, I want us to take a quiz. And so there's 2 slides to this quiz. I'm going to go ahead and read each of these questions for you. In your paper, I want you to go ahead and write down true or false to each of these. No need to number them, no need to write anything down other than true or false. In fact, you can even write a T or an F, whatever you like. And at the end, we're going to go through them. Okay, so for the first question, go ahead and answer true or false. The statement is, the only way I can successfully manage my life is to take care of myself physically and emotionally. Is that true for you, or is that false? Number 2, nurturing myself enlarges my capacity to help others. 3, I eat healthfully and exercise regularly. Number 4, I get checkups, go to the dentist, and take preventative precautions. Number 5, I set aside personal, quiet time for myself, whether I'm meditating or simply letting my thoughts drift. Number 6, I experience the gifts of each season: gardening, hiking, more time outside, camping, swimming, barbecues, enjoying the fall leaves, gathering wood, spending more time inside, ice skating, sledding, bundled up beach walks. Number 7, creativity nurtures me. I do what I love, whether that's cooking, drawing, painting, writing, dancing, singing, or being creative in another way. Number 8, reaching out to others makes my life richer. I spend quality time with loved ones. Number 9, contributing to the world provides connection and purpose. So I give my time, energy, and experience where it is most useful. Number 10, I notice and heed the emotional signals that tell me I'm out of balance: irritability, overwhelm, resentment. Number 11, if I feel that I'm catching a cold, I realize I may have stressed my immune system with overactivity, so I stop and take care of myself. Number 12, when I need or want to, I say no to requests for my time. Number 13, I listen to and honor the requests my body makes for things like taking a nap, or a walk, enjoying veggies, or cooking a nourishing dish, if I have something planned for myself, I don't just toss that aside when someone makes the request of me. Number 14, I'm happy. I regularly experience contentment and joy. So, how did you do? Now, if you had more false answers than true, then I thoroughly invite you to examine your work, life, play, and you can have many more nouns in there, balance, because we really want you to have, ideally, all of those say true. I mean, if you could have all of them say true, how glorious, how wonderful, how nice and balanced and perfect, okay? And so hopefully, right, hopefully if you feel like you're leading a fairly balanced life, then maybe there's just a couple falses in there. But if you notice them popping up again and again and again, and I tell you, you are in the right place, my friend, because that is what we're going to spend time to do tonight. And before we leave that quiz, I actually want you to look through them. Put the 14 questions up here. I want you to look through them, and I want you to circle one of the falses that really struck a chord with you, that really was something that you thought, oh, I don't want to have to say false this, and I am. So go ahead and look through your answers, and I'll leave this up here for a minute. Look through your answers and notice where there might have been a false. I want you to circle it. Go ahead and jot down the question if you don't have them in front of you. Jot it down. And I want you to right now make a commitment to turn this into a true over the next month. Can you do that? I know you can. Okay. All right. And we're going forward. So I wanted to begin by sharing with you a little bit about my journey with finding balance. Certainly not something that is, was always. I did not consider myself sort of a highly balanced person, even just a couple of years ago. And you might say, well, I mean, how do you know that, right? How do you determine, are you balanced or you're not balanced? And for me, it meant a lot of things, right? It meant like lack of sleep all the time, the total sleep deprivation. To me, you really can't be a balanced person if you're sleep deprived. And then eating poorly and a lot of sugar and a lot of caffeine and a lot of things to really keep me going. I had a very crazy, hectic work life. It was a very consuming for me. And so I wound up kind of turning to things that would try to fuel me that weren't the right things that were fueling me, and that was sugar. It was foods that really didn't serve me, things that were very quick, a lot of takeout, eating out constantly, not having food made with vitamin L, vitamin love, right? I was not eating a lot of home-cooked meals. I was always feeling tired. I was getting sick. My skin didn't look great. I would come into work bags under my eyes as a young woman. I mean, that shouldn't have been happening. So for me, that was me being out of balance. I wasn't working out. And, you know, it wasn't like I was miserable, for sure not, but there were a lot of things that were going on that I really wasn't happy with. I didn't like my living situation. I didn't like where I was living geographically. I really didn't feel like I was experiencing life to the fullest. And so I made a lot of changes, and it took some time, and it took me discovering health coaching, being my own boss, moving back up to the Northeast. It took me really honoring those things and being vulnerable, and it was scary. And sometimes it still is scary, but I'm finding that I'm living a life of balance now, and things are balanced out. Work, life, play, and I include play with my puppy. He is my playtime. And things luckily are balanced now, and it took a lot of hard work, but that is going to be some of the secrets that I share with you tonight in terms of how you can find that balance and how you don't have to be sleep deprived, you don't have to be feeling like you're not happy with life and what is going on right now for you. So let's move ahead forward. I did want to do a quick note about balance. So really, it can be a very broad definition, but I feel like it's important to point out these two different areas of what balance can be. So on the left-hand side here, we have inner balance. So to me, inner balance really is your mind, body, spirit, mind, body, soul balance, right? And so for mind, that means, doing these, like a mental health check and just seeing how we're doing, as well as your emotional health, okay? But it also means learning and how you're using your mind. Is your mind being challenged, and are you learning and growing, et cetera? And are you being creative? So all those things fit into mind to me. Body, so huge. I mean, my gosh, this is so important. Physical health is so crucial. Of course, this is why I got into doing all of this. And that's, everything from eating to making sure you're fueling your body and sleeping and your digestion is good, fitness, physical activity, all of that, okay? And then spirit, right? And so what spirituality looks like for you. Do you feel connected with the universe, with whatever you believe in that is bigger and more important than anything that's kind of menial right now, right? And so for many, this is God, okay? And do you connect in your own special sacred way to source, to the universe, to God, okay? And I think sometimes if we don't have that in our lives, we are feeling naturally not balanced, okay? So that's important to consider as well. And then we've got the outer balance. And so that's all your outside stuff, right? This is work, and not just day-to-day job, but also your career, at large, right? And what you want to do when you grow up. We're all looking to figure that out, I guess, right? So your career, where you want to see it grow in the next 10, 20 years or whatever it might be, or maybe you're approaching retirement, okay, and what that's going to look like for you. As well as relationships. So this is another part of the outer balance. They're outside of you. And this is everything from family to friends to your social life. And again, if anything is lacking in here or taxing, this can really throw you out of balance. My goodness, if there is a toxic relationship, even just one in there, it can throw everything off balance, as you may well know. I've also included play in here. It was so important. And so this is, anything that's fun to you, as well as vacations. I don't even mean, like a trip to Europe. I mean anything. Taking just a day off, a day trip to the beach, doing things to relax, right? What you're doing in your free time. So important. So if you are feeling pulled in any one direction and you don't like it, it really is time to see how you can bring your life back into order. Right? So again, keeping in mind as we go through the rest of the webinar, we have two different components here. They are equal to me in importance, so they're definitely important to think about both of them. All right. So our first strategy here in increasing our balance and happiness is first defining what balanced means for you. Now, for some, it might be, working a 9-to-5 job, coming home, an hour with the husband, making dinner, watching a little TV, going to sleep, and that feels very good. It feels very balanced, and you're happy. For some people, that might not be balanced, okay? Maybe they need to work significantly less than that. Maybe they need to work more than that. For some people, it's getting a lot more sleep. Some people don't need it or don't want it. Some people really need a 3-day weekend, 4-day weekend often. They're not satisfied with just Saturday and Sunday, right? They need more time. Maybe balance means having a week-long vacation every year, religiously, making sure that you do that with your friends, your family, or whatever. So I want to give a moment here to pause and define what balance means for you. And specifically, what does your life look like when it's in balance? So if you've experienced feeling really balanced, then you'll know, okay, and you want to get back to that place. Perhaps you feel like you haven't, and you're dealing with a lot of stress, and maybe you have for a really long time. Okay, so what would that look like for you? I'll give you a few moments for that. Really picture it. What does life look like when it's in balance for you specifically? And I also want you to Create right now, if you can, a more and a less list. So just draw a line right down the center of the paper. The left-hand side, I want you to put the word more. On the right-hand side, I want you to put the word less. On the left-hand side there, underneath more, what would you like to have more of in your life to be balanced? Okay, maybe it's things as simple as like free time, right? That would make perhaps you more balanced. Okay, more socializing with friends and enjoying, more meditation time, more reading, more physical activity, more date nights with your beau. Okay, what do you need more of in your life to be balanced? Maybe you need more creative thinking or just having a creative outlet. Go ahead and write in as many as you can. When you're ready, move on over to the less list, right, on the right-hand side. What do you need less of? What is there too much of that you need to let go of? Maybe they're just sort of, general obligations that you've had in your life and that you are the go-to person on this, and this, and if you can let that go. Maybe there is too much alcohol in your life and you notice that you feel better without it. Maybe there's too much Facebook time. Oh my goodness, aren't we guilty of that? What else is in your life that there is too much of and you need to have less of? Maybe you need less gossiping. Maybe you need less stressing yourself out. Maybe you need less perfectionism. Maybe you need less fast food. Okay, go ahead and write down a few, as many as you can actually. And if you want more time, you can actually just pause this if you like. Very easy. And then join us when you're ready. But we will go ahead and move on. Okay, strategy number 2 is to hop on the no train. So I really love this expression. I'm kind of stealing it from my wonderful business and just, I don't even know, she's my idol and all things, Marie Forleo. And that's when I first heard her use this expression, and she's got this fun little video where she talks about getting on the no train, like the love train, but it's the no train. And it makes so much sense, and it is not meant to be something where you're just saying no to everything. That would be, I don't even know what that would be, but that's not what that's about. Hopping on the no train means feeling really comfortable with saying the word no, and in, of course, the most polite and lovely way. And actually, I'm hopping down to that bottom bullet there for a second. If you are a yes man or a yes lady and you say yes to everything, then having more balance in your life is going to come from you saying no. Okay, I know it actually might sound kind of icky when you think about, well, how could I not go to, so-and-so's child's, third graduation party, whatever the case may be. But if you are a yes person, then a really wonderful thing to start doing and to have more balance would be to make your default response, I'm not sure yet, let me check my schedule, or let me think about that, and I will get back to you. And you may very well be able to do it, fit it in. Perhaps you're not, or maybe it's something that you simply just don't value in that moment, and you need to be allocating your time elsewhere. Either way, you've thought about it and you haven't just jumped into a yes, which is really important. Okay? So I'm going to hop actually back up to the top there. And along with this is establishing boundaries. Okay? And so this might be just sort of, you want to look at all different components of your life and see where perhaps you can establish a boundary. A boundary for you might be making sure that you leave work right at 5 o'clock, 5:30. and not staying there till 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever crazy hour of the night you're staying there until, because you need to prove that you are a good employee, et cetera, et cetera. This is something that's really important. It's really kind of near and dear to my heart. I would stay at work very, very long hours, and I really, in hindsight, wish I didn't, because there's a lot of hours and days and weeks and months of my life that I wish actually I could have had back. I think I would have been a lot healthier of a person, but it's, we learn from our past, and I certainly have established my own boundaries now, work-life balance, because I've had to, right? But anyway, back to you. Let's look and see, where are there boundaries that you can start really reinforcing. Maybe they're within family, okay? And you've got somebody that is you love them dearly, but they are an energy suck in your life, whether they're a friend or a family or somebody, and you are on the phone with them for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, and you are just watching the minutes tick on by, and you know that you just aren't able to spend time allocated toward things that you need to be doing, or prefer to be doing, because you're being there and you're being supportive. So there's ways that you can look at your time. And again, it's not time management, right, from that quote in the beginning. It really is boundary management. And I think this is actually kind of an art to learn to do really well, not even something that I think I'm probably a pro at yet. And then also you want to look at that less list that you just wrote down, okay? And again, these are the things you want to do less. How many of these things can you say no to right now? And you say, absolutely, I don't want this to continue. When you look at your less list, perhaps you're seeing responsibilities in there that are mandatory, right? Picking up the kids from school, we have to do that, okay? Or whatever the case may be. And so whatever you need to do less of, really try to identify if there are things that you can just fully say no to. Right? And other ones that you just can maybe perhaps figure out a better way to do them, or see if you can get help or support. Because a burned out, exhausted you is not the best version of you, and nobody really wants that person hanging around anyway, right? They want the happy, vibrant, not burned out version of you. So super important to make sure that you can at least start getting familiar with the no train. Okay, strategy number 3 is to take a mental health day. Now, we've heard that expression all the time, but I had to include it because it is so important. And I didn't even know this until today, but that there is a World Mental Health Day. It's the 10th of October. I don't know if you knew that. I didn't know that. And I wish I had been celebrating it all these years. And the UN actually put this together, and they back it. But, I don't want you to wait until October 10th. I want you to really think about the next month out, right? Is there a day or even a half day, maybe, that you can take to restore balance in your life? And I'm talking about a work day. I'm not talking about Saturday or Sunday. Those days are there for you anyway. I'm talking about taking some time, and a couple of hours, preferably a whole day, and just enjoying doing something that you love, dedicating the entire day to play and relaxation. Maybe just for you. Maybe this is just a you day, or maybe you want to do something maybe with a friend and you guys both take mental health days. Okay? You can say, Alyson from Wellness by Alyson said it's okay and that it's all good. But I also like this quote here that was at the top here by Thomas Merton, who says, happiness is not a matter of intensity, but of balance, order, rhythm, and harmony. Okay, and that's all about what taking a mental health day will be. Balance, order, rhythm, harmony, just enjoying. All right. Strategy number 4 is to ask for help and get support. We are not superheroes. We are human beings. I think a lot of times we feel like superheroes, and it's really great to feel like a superhero, but you're human, right? You're a regular old gal or guy, and we need support and assistance, a shoulder to lean on. We need folks, people, tools, things to help us, and lucky for us, those things exist. So you want to look at the areas in your life that you'd like to be more balanced and identify identifies who in your life might be able to support you. Okay? If you look back in the beginning when I said, what does life look like if it's balanced for you? What can you have in there? And look through that and think to yourself, who can support me in these areas? Is it a family member or a friend? Maybe it's a coworker as well. Perhaps you can hire someone. If you don't like cleaning, I highly recommend hiring a cleaning support team. Okay, they do them it's very affordable, I think, these days. Okay, and people come in. There's many, will come into your house and get it all cleaned up in like no time at all. But seriously, this exists for a reason, and if you can allocate funding towards someone that can help you in some form or fashion, please do it. Okay, this is why I have a job, ladies and gentlemen. I am a coach. I am here to help you. It is my life's work. This is what I've been put here on this earth, is literally to help you. I help you with restoring overall balance, increasing wellness, getting your eating back on track, and feeling really freaking good. That is what I'm here for. So lean on me. Reach out to me if you need support. And I also wanted to include a spiritual community. Again, if you are looking at your life and you're thinking, I'd like to make sure that I have a spiritual practice, I feel really good when I have that. And so it's either finding one or reconnecting with them. Either way, looking for support in those different areas is super important. Strategy number 5, this is broad, but I thought it was important, is to focus on you. Okay, so we've been talking a lot about, focusing on you, having me time, having those mental health days, and everything. And so I found this quote from the wonderful, wonderful Esther Hicks, who says, "It is not your role to make others happy. It is your role to keep yourself in balance." I'm going to repeat that one more time because I think it's so important. It is not your role to make others happy. It is your role to keep yourself in balance. That's your job. Okay, she says, when you pay attention to how you feel and practice self-empowering thoughts that align with who you really are, you will offer an example of thriving that will be of tremendous value to those who have the benefit of observing you. How profound. Again, at that top, it's not your job to make other people happy. It's your job to keep yourself in balance. And I keep repeating it because it's so, so important. Okay? I can't urge you enough to have some type of designated me time, whether it's every week, whether you have something kind of set up on your calendar or in your mind when you know that Thursday afternoons are me time. Thursday afternoons are the time when you go to your yoga class or maybe you get a pedicure afterwards, whatever the case may be, but you don't allow other things to interfere. That is your me time. Another option is to look at things in a sort of a smaller, like chunking it down, and especially if you're an entrepreneur or someone who is kind of your own boss, it can be hard to create the things like that I was saying before and like chunks of me time every week. But if you can do something even like on an hour-to-hour basis, where you have like an hour of hustle time, you can have a count, like a timer, clocking you down until you can get to 1 hour of either pumping out whatever it is that you're working on, and that you have reward yourself with 15 minutes of me time. Whether you're going and having a nice healthy snack, you're going and walking outside, if you're like me, you're playing with your dog for a little bit, whatever the case may be, but focusing on you, allowing yourself to have that me time, it will create a situation where you will not feel burnt out, which obviously is certainly a goal. Strategy number 6 is to keep a food and mood journal. And I thought this was kind of a cool one to include here. I talk about journaling and having a food tracking system and everything when I do different types of webinars, but I thought that it really made sense here as well. So keeping a food and mood journal really helps you become more aware of foods and activities that energize you versus drain you. So when you are really hyper aware of the foods that are making you feel good, things that you're doing that are making you feel good, or perhaps choices that aren't serving you, right? And how you can perhaps course correct the next day. You start to become really observant, and then you start to, ideally, do more of the things that are making you happy, healthy, feel balanced, etc. Right? So observing this is really one of the first pieces. I've included in this, there's a little freebie, a food and mood journal up on my site. So please, when you can, head on over there, download it. I think you'll like it. But in there, you'll also see that there is a part where I'm asking you to write down what you're grateful for. You know, gratitude is a big, big, big component of feeling balanced, feeling grounded. If you're not already doing some type of daily gratitude practice, I highly encourage you to. Whether it's something that you, like in this journal, would write down what you're grateful for, or perhaps you would say it out loud, maybe to your partner before bed, or again, if you're just writing it down, that's perfect too. But it's such a nice way to close the evening. It really helps you feel more balanced, basically, I mean, almost immediately, and then over time, you feel more and more balanced. And so, again, highly recommend doing some type of daily journaling where you're checking how you're feeling, as well as what you're eating. You know, it's very important to be able to identify the foods that make you feel good. Okay, and our last strategy is to eat balanced to become balanced. And so we talked a lot tonight here about all the different techniques and strategies that you can use in taking mental health days, honoring you, and hopping on the no train. And this part is about eating. And it sounds really simple, right? So if you're eating a balanced meal, you're going to feel balanced. Well, yeah, duh, of course. But I really can't stress that enough. And I don't even really think it's eating balanced once in a while, or, oh, I had a salad today that feels good. That's unfortunately not quite enough. But really, when you're looking at your life, you're looking over the past day, maybe, or the past week, and you're looking at the types of foods that you've been eating, I want you to do a little kind of examination and see, you know, how have I been eating? I'm wondering, maybe, does that impact my balance, how I'm feeling, my energy? I can tell you, my friends, it does. So if you're reducing down some of the stuff that does not make you feel good, this is the sugary stuff, this is alcohol, this is processed foods. And when I say sugar, I mean all different kinds of sugar. I mean the sugar that's in your pasta, in your breads, in your wheat, in your starchy foods. And then, of course, the sugar that's in candy and then your artificial sweeteners and things like that, and sodas. Basically, any food that does not nourish you is not good for you, right? It's not going to help you feel balanced. And if you can avoid those things and bring in the really good foods that make you feel awesome, you create balance within you, starting at the cellular level. And this balance, the cellular level, moves to the organ level, right? And then you move to the system level, and then at a body level. And before you know it, you feel so damn good. You are feeling physically balanced in mind, body, and soul. And it really does. I think in many cases it does kind of begin with what you're putting on your plate, right? And not only feeling balanced, you know, like digestive-wise and your immune system, but also your energy, right? If we're zapped of energy, you're kind of like just a waste of space for that day. At least that's how I have felt before, right? And when you have energy and you have the ability to do all these things that you love, you are a happier person. So the big question is, how do we do this? How do we eat balance? What does that even look like? So how do you suppose you would feel after a few days of only eating food that nourished you? Okay, I call this eating nutrient-dense food versus nutrient-less food, right? Pretend food, sugary food, etc. So how do you think you'd feel? Do you think you would feel lighter? Do you think you would feel more balanced? Would you feel energized? Would you feel de-bloated? Would you feel ready to take on the world? I'm going to tell you the answer to those questions is yes. Okay? Truly, we are what we eat. So I always say, obviously, it makes sense to give our bodies the proper fuel to keep us energized and happy. But this can be scary or overwhelming, or like, okay, well, that sounds really great, Alyson, but where would I even start? All right, tell me, what do I do? What do I eat? Okay, you know, thinking about giving up sweets or soda or like ice cream, cookies, the treats that you have on a day-to-day basis. And I'm talking about your lunch sandwich, things like this, where you think, okay, well, what would I have instead? You know, I want to tell you that I have built an entire support system for you to do all of those things, to have the balance in your life. And it starts at your plate. It starts with what you're eating, and it'll literally transform your entire life. And this is what I do. This is what I love. And we do these in seasonal detoxes. Every season I offer a different detox. And this season right now is the Be Radiant Summer Detox. Okay? And so basically what it is, and I'll show you on the next slide, is an 11-day system to help you restore balance. Again, beginning at that cellular level based on what you're eating so that you can feel amazing after 11 days. This is what I see happen again and again and again. I have people say to me, Alyson, there's no way in hell I'm gonna give up my soda or give up my daily glass of wine that I love so much. And I say, oh, can you just give me 11 days? I promise it's gonna be worth it. And it always is. The folks that start doing detoxes don't want to stop doing detoxes. They come back season after season, which is so much fun for me. But really, again, it's to restore balance in your body, in your life. Many people do detoxes with me here to lose weight, and they have a lot of awesome other side effects. And that's getting more sleep. It's getting energized. It's getting this beautiful, radiant, glowing skin. It's having digestive issues just kind of fade away. People will say to me, Alyson, I stopped burping. I stopped having gas and bloating. What was happening? I don't understand. And we go through it together. And I'm showing them, but listen, this is what happened by you having these good fruits and vegetables and clean protein and really these good fats to help you stay full. And this is all food that you're cooking, by the way, yourself. You're experiencing a brand new way of living. And so if you are interested in feeling that way, I invite you to join us. We're going to get started very soon, actually, for the Be Radiant Summer Detox. And so you can, of course, learn a lot more by visiting wellnessbyalyson.com/detox. But I'm going to quickly show you what is included in this package. And so on the top left, you're going to go ahead and see there's a detox guide. And so that's everything that shows you what's happening at that cellular level, at the liver level, at the kidney level, everything that's happening inside of your body that is allowing you to detox and cleanse by what you're eating, by enjoying your food, really savoring this beautiful, nourishing food that you're making yourself. On the bottom left there is a detox shopping list and meal planner. And so I'm helping you get everything all set up and ready to go. You got your recipe guide where you're getting over 75 great, clean recipes from me. And so the detox shopping list and planner is everything that you need. So I'm breaking down that recipe guide into ingredient by ingredient, and you can just take it with you and go. And the meal planner is something where you could say, okay, well, 75 recipes is a lot. I don't even know what to eat when. And I say, okay, well, here's an example of what you can eat and when. And you can start your day with this beautiful smoothie. You can have this juicy, wonderful salad for lunch. You can have this wonderful savory dinner come dinner time. And so there's lots and lots of choices in there. And I am going to give you everything that you need. Minus the food and me cooking it for you. You'll get everything that you need to be able to be successful with this, including the Ultimate Success Kit, which is me going through everything that is kind of like what we're doing here tonight, and really looking at all those areas of your life where you want to make sure that you're having balance and reducing stress. You also get a food diary. Like I mentioned before, I think this is so important to be able to track how you're feeling and what you're doing through the day. You'll see the little laptop up there, and that is your Facebook group. And so that is part of your support system I've got my detoxers in there, and they're talking every day, and they're really enjoying each other's company and saying, okay, well, my goodness, this is how I'm feeling. How are you feeling? You know, if there's anything that's creeping up for you that you're saying, okay, I'm not sure how am I feeling, blah, blah, blah. People ask away in there. And I absolutely love when I see all of the wonderful meals and creations being formed. I love that seeing when the detoxers take pictures of their foods and how they're feeling and articles that inspire them. It's just a really fun group to be with. And you also get 2 calls. There's a kickoff call for every group that starts. We have a kickoff call on that Monday. You can ask any question you want. We also set intentions for our time together, as well as a post-detox strategy call, and that is just for you and me. So after your detox is done, we sit together on the phone, and I help you look through and see, okay, well, what about this lifestyle and eating really well did you like, and how do we incorporate this into real life now? Okay, and so you and I together have some time, 30 minutes, and we talk on the phone to see how can we make this really stick for you, you know, what you liked about it. So there are 3 rounds. The first round starts on June 22nd. You can join the groups that will be starting, or you can begin whenever you like, and actually it's ready right now. So as soon as you're ready to get your detox on, I really hope that you do consider joining us this summer to be balanced and to really basically live your best life. I really enjoyed talking with all of you tonight and having you on the webinar. I want you to go back to those exercises, spend some time analyzing the more and the less list, going back to your balance list, also looking back and seeing which response in the quiz you answered false to, and seeing how you can really truly commit to living a better, more balanced life within the first month here, right now, right away. If any questions, any comments, please feel free to reach out to me at coach@wellnessbyalyson.com. If any questions, I absolutely love hearing from you, so don't hesitate to do that. So good night, and have a great tomorrow. Have a wonderful, balanced, beautiful rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.